Hi, in this lecture we are going to look at how to set up our Java on dev environment. We are going through some Java basic, which might not be known by all developers. Basically, we are going to start from how to install Java and how to manage multiple Java versions easily. Then we are going to look at the binaries available in the Java SDK and install Visual VM, since it is not part of the SDK binaries anymore. To help us with this task, we are going to use SDK man, it's a tool for managing Java SDKs, but not only Java, but also some Java tools as well. And here we can see some SDK that we can manage by this tool. So for example, we can manage Gradle, Groovy, Maven, Visual VM that we're going to be using later. And to install SDK, this SDK main, it's very easy. So just go to install. Here you can see for Windows and Linux, it's a very simple process. I've already installed that on my local. So when you have it installed, you can you're going to have available SDK command here. Let's say you can use current, for example, and then you're going to see all the SDK that I have installed at the moment. So I have Java, Scala, and Visual VM. And we can look at some commands here on the usage. It's very simple. There is many options here, but for our purpose, we are going to just use four commands. That's going to be first, I already showed you the SDK current to see what versions that you have installed in our machine. Then we're gonna use SDK list Java to list all Java versions available that we can install. And we can see here that I have installed a few versions. And then then the next command, it's the Java installed. Then we're gonna install one. Let's say pick up anyone here. So you can see that you have different SDK. You have from Adopter, OpenDK, Amazon, Azul, and Bellsoft, Graal, and SAP, even SAP version. So let's pick up any here just to illustrate that. Let's say Java 9, 12, just to illustrate. I'm not going to actually install, just to show you. So SDK, install Java, and then your version that you want to install. Then you just press that. SDK, and then we start to install. This will take a few minutes. So I'm going to cancel that because I already have some options installed here, but the process is very simple. And then once you have your version installed, you can see you'll be able to do a version, and you're going to see that will be installed the version that you chose. In my case here, I have Java 11 as the default. It's done on my environment, and for changing the version, I just go, let's say I have here the 14 as well, and to change, you're gonna use SDK, use Java, and the version, then you'll be changed to this new version. Then if you use Java version, you're gonna see that now I have the 14 available. We can see that when you do that, our Java home also it's changed to this one. And if you go, let's say you're gonna go back to no, let's show as well the Java path, the system path, that you see that it's changed there as well. Here you can see on our path as well. And in fact, every time that we use the SDK use, what is happening, SDK, it's basically change our Java home and our path, right? And we don't really need the SDK to do that. We could be managing this ourselves, but that would be a little bit more costly, because you have to download every SDK and manage those and be setting this variable manually, and it would be not very handy. So this tool make things very, very easy. So we know that we could also manage different versions, calling, let's say, if you go to cd java home, we go back and you can see different version that I have local, and I could just call, let's say, by say pwd, and we could call the full address, right, straight to our binary. Let's say java, and then would be, that's 7, I take the 7, and then binary, and then java. And here we are pointing straight to the binary that we want to use, let's say version. And then when you run our java here, because we are pointing to the version 7, we will be running on the 7, right? So that's another way to be working with different versions. So you could be pointing straight to where the binary is. If you, as I said, if you don't want to use SDK, you can basically export this. Let's say if you want to export the Java home to this version 7 here, for example, and you could do this, and the Java version will not be immediately changed because we need to change on the path as well. So then we can set the version that we want to work on the path, and that will be export, then the path that we want to change, and here you can see that I have the Java version. I use Java home here, that will be picking up from the version that I just set before. So here, and then if you do Java version, you'll be the 7, right? So you don't really need the SDK man, but again, it makes things a lot of easier. And so, but one thing that's important to mention, it is that everything that we are changing here, it is valid only for this terminal session. For example, if I use a new session here and I try to do Java version, we see that is 11. So everything that we did was valid only for that terminal session here. Okay, and to make it permanent, we would have to set the path on your bash profile, and that would be like, for example, say bash profile, and here you can see that I have already some option, and you just put, let's say, and then you will do the same I did before, export. The same it is done on here, for example, you would set on your bash, and when your system starts, it would pick up what you set there. Okay, then next step, let's see what we have available on our SDK, Java SDK. Let's say let's use 11, for example. Let's go to 11 and see the binary, and you can see that we have few things available. For example, we have Java C, that it's used for compile bytecode. We have JConsole as well, that would help us to debug things. For example, we can run this if I go even in the other session, just to show you guys that it's available anywhere in your system, because it's part of the path already. So JConsole, for example, you would have this being loaded, and you could use to manage your process locally. JConsole, it's pretty good, but I prefer to use Visual VM because it's more let's say, it's a better tool with more option to manage your process and then investigate eventual issues on your program. So then I would like to suggest you guys to install using SDK, because then it will be like this: SDK install Visual VM, and it will be in progress. I already have it installed, so I'm gonna cancel it. So then I can Visual VM, run it here, and then we have it available to work with our process. And then we would have just to configure it to point to your Java process. And so I think this is it for this lecture. So we've learned how to manage multi-versions. We look at the Java path and how to set your binaries to your system. And we saw as well how to install Visual VM using SDK and also different Java versions. I think that's it. See you in the next lecture.